and welcome to the Oak and Lamb YouTube channel. My name is Becca Oaks. I'm an owner and craft educator here at Oak and Lamb. One of the most common questions that we get here at Oak and Lamb, and it's actually one of my favorite, is what project should I make straight out of the box? I've just gotten a Cricut and I'm not sure what to start with. I love this question because I've been there and felt a little bit overwhelmed and unsure about what to do. My answer is always to make a paper craft. Now, here is why. Paper is relatively inexpensive. So cardstocks and things like that are relatively inexpensive, especially compared to vinyls and heat transfer vinyls. This is a really beginner friendly paper crafting cardstock project that I want to share with you today. And we're gonna go over the supplies that you're going to need for this. It will be really quick. I'm gonna show you how to import cut files, how to size them and cut them, and then we'll put a fun banner together using some cut files that we have available here at Oak and Lamb. For supplies, we are going to start with our light blue mat. Now we use the Nicopa mats. You can also use Cricut mats or any other as long as they are compatible with cardstock. This is not a super tacky mat, so it will be easy to remove the cardstock. Ours is a little bit loved. It's been used a little bit. And so the second thing that I want to encourage you to have in your craft room when you're working with paper or vinyl is actually a brayer. And I'll show you how to use this, but this just makes the material stick really well to a semi-loved mat, and it prevents any cutting issues that you might have. If you have a mat that is a little bit loved and the material is not wanting to stick down to it, if you don't bray it down, sometimes when the machine is making some cuts, it will move the cardstock or vinyl on the mat and then you'll have a craft fail. So I want you to absolutely avoid that by just grabbing a brayer. We will link these down in the description below for you, our favorites for sure. So have that in your craft room. So a brayer and a mat, and then we're going to be using cardstock. These are some that we love. We grabbed these at Hobby Lobby. They are Paper Studio, and they have all different sorts of gorgeous colors. I want to encourage you to go ahead and grab some cardstock before you start crafting, because we always need cardstock here at the studio, and these packs are really amazing. You can see that they have 75 sheets in them, and they are white core, which sometimes drives me crazy, but for this particular project, it will be really nice. These are 3 different packs. We have the dark sheets, the unicorn sheets, and the color corner sheets. They are $24.99 full price, but we always wait until Paper Studio is 40% off at Hobby Lobby so that we can get these at really great prices. So grab some cardstock colors that you want. And then the last thing that we're going to be using are brads. These are just old school brads that you use in the office, but these are the mini version. You can get these in some fun, bright, crafty colors, or you can get your traditional colors like this. They also come in the normal size that looks like this. And you can see you can get them in fun colors as well. I chose the mini today because I'm going to be cutting out my letters in small dimensions, so I want to make sure that these brads easily go in the holes that we'll be cutting. And I only had the colored ones in the larger ones here in the studio. So that's all we need other than our Cricut. You can use the Cricut Explorer, you can use the Maker, or if you're cutting these cut files out small enough, then you can also use your Joy. Okay, over on the computer, we are on the Oak and Lamb website, and I'm gonna go ahead and download the files that we'll be using today. They are available to all Oak and Lamb members. So if you are a member, go ahead and log in, and we are going to search custom banner for the files. If you're not an Oak and Lamb member, click the link below and join our membership here. The annual membership, which gets you access to these files, free commercial use license with the files, education, our private Facebook group, and so much more. So once we have located our custom banner files, you can see here there's a whole collection of files that go together. We have our letters, our numbers and the graphics, so custom images like specific holidays and other events that you would celebrate and might want to make a banner for, like a baby shower or a wedding or sporting event, anything like that. We are going to go ahead and download the letters here. So I'm going to click the file, press download now, press download here, and then it downloads into my downloads. So what I want to do is open them, double click, and you can see all of the SVGs right here. So now what I like to do is open up Design Space, click New Project, press Upload, and then Upload Image. I'll pull this down just a little bit, and then I'm going to locate the files that I need and drag them and drop them here. So I'm going to cut out the letters to make the phrase Get Crafty, and then there will be a heart in between Get and Crafty. So I need to locate all of the SVGs in order to do that. Let's go ahead and grab the C and then drag it and drop it here. And then we're going to press Upload. Then you can see it uploads right here. Now we can do the next one by pressing Upload Image again, drag this here, and then we'll find our R, drag it and drop it, and press Upload, and do that for all of the images until you have all that you need. Once you have all of them, it's really easy to select more than one file to add to your canvas here in Design Space. So we are going to use all of these here, and I'm just clicking to select all of them. I don't have to hold in Shift or anything to select more than one file. Just click, you'll see the green around it, and you'll know it's selected. Now I can press Add to Canvas. Once all of the cut files are here on my canvas, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so that we can see what we're doing better. I want to size these, and you can do this in a couple of different ways. I want my graphics to be 2.5 inches tall, so I could just select one of them and drag to size it. I could also come up here to the top and type in 2.5. Let me undo that. Or I can select all of the files by dragging and selecting. You can see that all of them are selected. Then I'm going to come to Align, and I'm going to center these files horizontally and vertically. So now that they're centered, I can come up here to the top. All of them are still selected, and I'm going to type in 2.5, enter, so that all of them will size at the same time. Now, let's go ahead and arrange these so that they're in the correct order. I need to duplicate my T because I'm going to be using it here as well, and so I'll need it cut out twice. I can do that several different ways. Click on the T so that it's selected, and then you can press this right here that says duplicate. Or with this selected, I can right click and press duplicate. Or with this selected, I can press Command D. And when I hovered over this, you might be able to see it says duplicate Command D, which is the hotkey or shortcut for duplicating. So if I select, press Command D, then it automatically duplicates that for me. So now that I have all of these arranged, I need to decide, do I want all of these cut out of the same color of cardstock, or do I want each of them to be different colors? If I want them all to be the same color, then what I want to do is select every single file, come up here where it says Operations. I'm going to click on this, and then I'm just going to select any random color. If I want them all to be blue, I can just choose blue, and it selects all of them, changes the color of all of them at one time, and then I'm ready to click Make It and cut this out. If I want them to be different colors, it's super easy to do that as well. So what I'm going to do is just select each color or each letter, and change it to a color that I want to use. Now, I suggest trying to get a color on here in the canvas that is close to what you'll be using for cardstock. If you're using several greens, for instance, you want to make sure that not all of them are really similar in green, so that it's easy to decide which color cardstock goes on the mat at what time. All of that will make sense in just a minute. So for instance, I have this E here, and it's going to be sort of a mint green, and there's not really a mint green option here. What I can do is push one that's close to it, come down to advanced, and then change the color to more of a mint green. Now we'll just choose the colors of the rest of the letters that we're going to be using here, and then we'll be ready to cut out our image. Now that I have all of the colors selected, let's go ahead and click Make It. You can see it brings up all of these different mats with the color that I have chosen for the graphic, so it makes loading your cardstock on the mat correct. It wants to start with this orange mat, and so in just a second, we'll load our mat with the orange cardstock and we will let this cut out. Before we do that, let's go ahead and press Continue. We'll connect to our machine. I am just connecting via Bluetooth. You can also use your USB cord to connect with USB. And then we're going to select our material setting. The material setting we'll choose is medium cardstock. You can see it's one that we use a lot, so we have it under favorites. However, if yours is not there, what you want to do is press Browse All Materials, type in cardstock or medium cardstock, whichever one you want to do, and all of the cardstock options come up. So you can see medium cardstock is here. I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and favorite that if yours is not already favorited, because it's probably going to be a material setting that you use a lot. So to favorite it, just come over where the star is, click that star. Now we'll select the cardstock option and press Done. Now I'm going to be using the medium cardstock option for all of these mats. If I don't select Remember Material Setting, then each time I load a mat, it's going to ask me to choose the medium cardstock setting. So let's go ahead and select Remember Material Setting so that we don't have to choose that again. And then we're going to load our light grit mat with the corresponding cardstock color that we see here. First up is our orangey red color, so let's load the mat. I'm going to use a piece of cardstock that I've already cut from before, and that is totally acceptable because I'm just going to be cutting out a small piece up here. When you're loading your mat, you want to load your mat in the top left-hand corner of your mat. That is the default position where your graphics will be cut. Now you can move those graphics, the cut files, to different parts of your mat in Preview on Design Space. If you do that, then you just need to place your cardstock in the corresponding area on your mat. I left mine in the default spot, so let's go ahead and place our cardstock in the top left-hand corner. And then we're going to grab the brayer and bray this down so that it doesn't move on us while we're cutting. Because we've already selected the material setting, our Cricut has the flashing load button, which means we're ready to load our mat. So let's place the mat under these plastic pieces right here that help feed it in here properly. Press our flashing load button, and then the machine is going to measure the length of our mat to make sure that's the correct length. Once it's finished with that, the play button or start button will start flashing, and we can press that. The cut is finished, so let's go ahead and unload our mat. And now we can remove the cardstock from the mat. To do that, the easiest way is to flip your mat over and actually remove the mat from your cardstock. Just pull like this, and you have your great cut. We'll place this over to the side for use in a minute. The reason that we want to do that, a lot of times if your mat is new and super sticky, if you pull the cardstock from the mat, it will curl your cardstock, and this gives you a nice flat cut with no curl. Now let's refer back to Design Space to see which mat to cut next. Mat number 2 is our lighter orange color. So let's go ahead and grab the orange cardstock and load it on our mat. Again, load it in the top left-hand corner. Bray down, load your mat, and then press the flashing start button. We're going to do this for every single mat that is shown up in Design Space. So keep referring back to Design Space for which color to load next, and then cut out all of the mats. Now that we have all of our letters cut out, we're just going to open our brads here, decide which color we want to use, and put these together. So you'll just place on top of each other, the holes on top of holes. Grab a brad, place it in the hole, like this. Flip it over and open that brad. And we're gonna do that for every single one. Now, when I put these together, I like to make sure that they're all, like this one is on top of this one. So I would place this on top instead of under. That's just my preference. You do whatever you'd like to do, and then just put all of them together in one solid row. If you wanted to do 2 of these, it would be really cute to do 2 and maybe have like a word right here, one underneath to hang it this way, or a phrase with another phrase. Even a couple of different rows of them would be really cute. But this one is just going to be one long solid one. So we'll put it all together. So here it is, completely finished. Look how cute. Now, if you wanted to make this project like right now and didn't have brads in your craft room, you could still put this together with some paper adhesive, like a zig pen, or even an ATG gun, which is a double-sided adhesive. You won't have the mobility like this with it. So keep that in mind when you're putting it together. You're going to probably want to do it sort of at an angle like this if you want it to have a little bit of a drape. But that's why I like the brads, because it gives it some flexibility there. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a super successful first project with your Cricut. If you have any questions about the project or our membership, definitely leave us a comment down in the comments below and we will answer that for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are not already a subscriber to the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so that you can get crafty with us every time we're live or post pre-recorded content. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you here another day for another video.